Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Exposing the Narcissist. Today's video will be exposing another tactic of the narcissist to control your mind. This video is more about friends and romantic partners that the narcissist may be trying to win, and I am specifically focusing on the covert narcissist because covert narcissists do not really discriminate when it comes to where they get their narcissistic supply. The only difference is that they are happy to showcase some of their supplies more than others. Therefore, they love to target people who are smart, attractive, and successful, mainly to show off. They want people to see them affiliated with certain types of people. They want to garner the benefits of what being associated with people like this can do for them and their reputation. Not only do they secretly hope that this person's success and influence will rub off on them, but they also start looking for opportunities to take away what these people have. But why do smart and successful people fall for narcissists? Why does anyone? There are a few factors which can make someone a narcissist magnet, which is something I talked about in this video, but the focus was more on lack of self-love, low self-esteem, etc. Whereas today, pushing all that aside, there is another level to the narcissist manipulation that can cause anyone to fall for them. Because someone's level of success or intelligence on its own cannot save them from a narcissist. The knowledge of narcissists and narcissism needs to be there. In this video, I talked about the fact that narcissists use words to deceive and manipulate. With their words, they convince us that they love us or that they care, and with their words, they also slander us and smear us. Words are very powerful, and the narcissist uses their communication skills to accomplish what they want. It is all about persuading people to believe what the narcissist wants them to believe. But there is another layer to this, and that layer is repetition. So not only does the narcissist say what they want you to believe, but they say it again, again, and again. Repetition enforces the message that the narcissist wants you to believe, and your subconscious eventually registers it as the truth. The power of repetition is widely used. We see it in the media, with advertisements, news, movies, politics, etc. It has been proven that if a message is repeated again and again, eventually many people will just start parroting that message. They will just believe it or accept it for the simple fact that they have been presented with the idea so many times. It's a clear and effective means to control people's behaviors, thoughts, etc. But to stay on topic, this is a tactic that narcissists use. The so-called love bombing phase is a literal assault on your subconscious mind. In this video, I talked about how narcissists deceive our senses by showing us what we want to see, telling us what we want to hear, smelling the way they know we like, and also using physical touch to seduce or manipulate us. But above all, the power is in how often they repeat certain actions and words. The narcissist reinforces their message in multiple ways. They do not just say it, they allow you to experience what they want you to believe in ways that involve as many of your senses as possible. This is why it is important that they consume our time and bombard us with all these signals and messages. The more they can expose us to their made-up reality, the quicker we will be drawn in to accept it as fact. This is why a narcissist would come out very early on in the relationship and tell you they love you or how much you mean to them, and then keep demonstrating that idea in different ways every chance they get. By the time the love bombing phase is complete, the target is truly convinced that the narcissist is a genuine friend or lover. Their mind has concluded that everything that transpired within the love bombing phase is the truth. A bond has been created and the foundation for cognitive dissonance has been laid. So later, when the narcissist is showing the opposite of what they were during the love bombing phase, your mind will quicker accept that their behavior is just a glitch and not the real deal. You are likely to make excuses for their behavior because, as far as you are concerned, they are acting out of character. This selfish, inconsiderate, hurtful, controlling person is not who they really are. And because the narcissist has the tendency to repeat the cycle of devaluing and love bombing, it makes it harder for the target to differentiate between what's real and what's not. It makes it harder to leave when there's a possibility that the narcissist does truly care, because every now and again they reinforce that original message of being loving and caring. This reminder dispels any doubts or concerns you had because it resonates with your subconscious mind. You instantly feel safe and at ease when the narcissist is being nice. You are willing to forgive and forget and hold on to those breadcrumb moments that remind you of the past. And all this happens as a result of the brainwashing or active repetition employed by the narcissist during the love bombing phase. Creating that perfect balance of devaluing and love bombing is something the narcissist is only willing to maintain with a supply that they are not ready to let go of. Because when a narcissist is ready to discard you, as I explained in this video, there is no more Mr. Nice Guy or Nice Girl. It is just hell. And for some people, despite how badly the narcissist may have treated and discarded them, they are still struggling to move on. And it is for the simple fact that they were wholeheartedly invested in the narcissist. And it can be really hard to accept that the narcissist never really loved you and that everything they ever said or did was a lie. But how can you break this trauma bond? How can you stop struggling with cognitive dissonance? How can you break this invisible hold? I call it invisible because it is all in the mind. When you are dealing with narcissists, it is a battle for your mind. And in this video, I went more into that and shared some tips to break that hold once and for all. There will be a link here and in the description section below. But today's video was just to highlight this very important tactic of repetition, which narcissists use to manipulate and control people. But we can use it to unplug from the narcissist. We can enforce new messages about ourselves and our lives. We can create new healthy habits with repetition. We can rebuild our self-esteem by listening to the right people and the right things again and again. By using the power of repetition, we can reset our minds to move forward. Because once we get our minds right, everything else will follow. As always, I hope this was useful. Please share your thoughts below. Many thanks for listening.